Hello my viewer, welcome to my channel this moment as I continue to encourage all those who are watching, all those who are following. Thank you for being my follower. I want to continue with the topic, though I'm going to be a bit diverse today, because I want to talk about something I had talked previously concerning loss and grief, which is not a very friendly or present topic, but it has been on demand, whereby there are some people who want me to speak about it concerning their beloved ones. And since my aim is to encourage somebody, I want to believe that by the end of this video, I will have encouraged someone. I will have expounded or explained things that they needed to hear or they wanted to hear so that they can come out of their situation. The last video that we shared last week, I was speaking on a different topic whereby I was continuing with the trauma or childhood trauma. And all these things I'm talking about, they are things that really find us, or they are things that really sometimes catch us unawares, and they make us vulnerable. And by being vulnerable means that we live, but we live with marks, we live with scars, we live with things that we are not able to do away with. But I want to encourage someone that some of these things that we live with, we can be able to do away with, just in case there is someone who is there for us, just in case there is someone who is ready to walk with us. As I speak about loss and grief, I'm sure all of us, or majority of us, have lost a life of someone that they know, someone that they love, someone that they cherished, someone that they valued. And when death comes, death separates. Death brings separation, and it also causes pain and grief. Death is a painful reality. As we talk of death and we speak of loss and grief, we also have got people who mourn or who grieve loss of a property, loss of an item, loss of something that was precious to them, loss of something that was of great value to them. For example, a piece of land. When someone loses an acre or two, they have all the reasons to grieve and go through loss because of what they have lost. When someone's vehicle set ablaze, it is also a reason good enough to grieve the loss. When someone loses a job, that one is also a loss. And when someone even loses a possession, like now when we are looking forward for the next general elections, there are quite a number of people who have stood as aspirants and they want to win the elections. But of course, we are only going to have one winner at the end of every position. So we are going to have majority of them losing. And some of these people who are going to lose, or who will be the losers, they have used a lot of money. Some have gone an extent of taking even loans so that they can secure a position. So after they lose the elections, this will be a loss that will cause them grief. It will be a loss that will cause them to mourn. Some will mourn their lifetime, others will mourn for a moment, others will mourn for a time, and therefore any loss brings separation, any loss brings a stop or a halt of continuity of something that they valued or that they cherished. Having said that, I want to say that loss and grief have stages. I may not dwell on them so much because I have talked about them in different forums, but for the sake of that person who have never heard me speak or who don't know that there are stages of loss and grief, there are five. And these five stages were invented by a lady who was called Kubler-Ross, who invented these five stages. One of the stages is denial. The second stage, we call it anger. The other stage, we call it bargaining. We have got depression stage, and also we have got acceptance stage. All these stages don't follow one another depending with a person. Even if you are mourning the same person, they don't follow each other in a sequence. But you'll find you are in one stage, you are going to get into another one depending with a person. When it comes to loss and grief, sometimes or many a times we ask questions as why me, why now, huh? And those questions, sometimes there is no one to answer us. Even if we ask God, he cannot answer, he cannot respond to us. When we talk about anger as part of the stages of loss and grief, sometimes we get very angry and very agitated with God. And we tend to ask, where was God when I was losing all this? It could be even money. It could be a property. And you wonder, where was God when you are losing that? If it is a life, where was God when you are losing that life? I don't have also an answer because death is a reality. Death is a part of us. We cannot run away from death. And even if we would try to run away from death, it will catch us wherever we go. I want also to mention about common grief reactions. Every time or anytime death strikes, there are those feelings that are very common. I mean, not feelings, they are those grief reactions that really are very common. One of the reaction or one of the common grief reaction is feelings. You start feeling things that were not there before. Your body starts feeling things. Your sensory organs start producing glands that were not there before. So there are feelings, and those ones are expressed in emotions. And then we have got the physical reaction of the body or physical sensation. Then we have got thought. Our brains react, and that's why there are thoughts that comes immediately after we receive bad news. And also we have got behaviors. We start behaving in awkward ways or in ways that we were not behaving before. So all these things comes with loss and grief, how we respond to loss and grief. And when we talk about feelings, there are many kind of feelings that one feels when they receive a bad news concerning loss and grief. One of the feelings, or some of the feelings, maybe I can only mention them. We have got the feeling of numbness, unasikia kama mwili yote imeganda. There is the feeling of sadness, a spirit of despair or desperation, a spirit of loneliness, a feeling of shock, a feeling of denial, a feeling of guilt, a feeling of helplessness, a feeling of hopelessness, a feeling, though all those kind of feelings, they come when we receive bad news about loss and grief. Number two, where we have got physical sensation, we have got heaviness of the heart, tightness of the heart. Sometimes we lose even our breath because of how our physical body react. Sometimes we feel dizzy or nausea. Other times our muscles feel tensed